Hey there, I'm Lindsay, creator of Mrs. Project, where we talk schedules and project management. Today's topic is
how to read a Gantt chart. Learning to read a schedule is like learning a foreign language. Add to that fact that it has a lot of data packed into it. Most schedulers follow the same rules, but digesting what a schedule says takes time if you are not working with a schedule on a daily basis. What you're looking at right now is an integrated master plan, aka an IMP. It's one page of all the information that you take from an IMS. So an IMS has more detail than an IMP. An IMP can fit onto one page. Going across the top from left to right is your timeline. This usually is the start of the project to the end of the project. So it could only be 1 year or maybe just 6 months. Or in this case, we have it as 5 years, 5.5. It all depends on what your project is. Down the left-hand side, you're going to have swim lanes. Now this can be either by project or by function. In this example, this view is of the portfolio. So the swim lanes are the projects. But if this view was a project, the swim lanes would be the functions. Because again, it's integrated. So you are taking up all the functions or projects that make up the project or portfolio and putting it onto one document. The status date is the as of date that this percent complete is measuring to. You include this and an as of date in the corner. So that way, when the chart is snapped and included in a brief, the viewer can know how good the information is. They can quickly see if they are looking at an expired schedule, if the as of date is a month in the past. Jumping to the symbols, we have bars, and those bars represent a task. Or in this case, it could represent a group of tasks. The left side of the bar is what your current promise start date is. Or if the date is in the past, that was your actual start. The right side of the bar is your promised finish for that task or group of tasks. Or if it's in the past, it's the actual finish. A triangle is a milestone, and a milestone can use either a start date or a finish date, but not both. A milestone usually represents completion of something. I don't put triangles at the end of a bar because it's duplicative. However, sometimes there might be a triangle that's in the middle of a bar, because if this was a group of tasks and you want to highlight what task in that group is meaningful, you can highlight it and bring it out and have that triangle be somewhere in the middle of that bar. You can see on this page, we have multiple colors of triangles, and they all represent something different. The blue triangles mean something, the green triangles mean something, and the red triangles mean something. And you put these in the legend to indicate what they are. But you gotta be consistent. So now when people look at my schedule and see the blue triangles and the green ones, they know what it means. When you see the arrows on a schedule, those show the relationships between the tasks. So if one task is dependent on another, that arrow shows it. Sometimes the arrows can go up, and sometimes they'll go down. But the arrow shows the relationship between two tasks, or sometimes even more. The baseline shows what your plan was. When you first create a plan and you snap the baseline, that is at your initial baseline review, or IBR. You will set that baseline then. If that's the baseline you want to track to, that is perfectly fine. But you also have the flexibility to have more than one baseline where you can track, yes, what you originally had, and then the baseline that you're actually working towards. Because remember, your schedule is looking at your current promise dates, but somewhere you have to measure their performance against it. So this baseline shows what your plan was, and then it shows what your current promise is. So you can see whether you're ahead or you can see if they're behind. And then your progress line. This is to show what the percent complete is on your project. How far along are you on that task? If it's in the past, that progress line should be 100% all the way through that bar. If it's currently in progress, you should see a progress bar that goes up to the status date. And for a milestone to be completed, it changes into a darker color. Make sure that when you have your schedules, there is a legend on there, especially when there's a lot of information. And try to make things be very specific, but also consolidated. As you can see, there is a lot of information on this chart, but yet each milestone and bar has a purpose to show where we are in the big picture of this portfolio with all the different projects going on. We can see what we're late on and where we are projected to finish.
Hope this helps you for today. Now go out there and flowcast those projects.